Here's to hugging corners, not cutting them. To grinding away, not grinding to a halt. Here's to those who stay true to the old saying, if you want something done right, you do it yourself. From Tallboy Storage to the latest line of extreme grip hand tools, Craftsman is there when it matters.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Sometimes we get to open this broadcast and have a grand old time watching these sim racing cars go around the sim racing virtual circuit, and sometimes things can go wrong, and thankfully nothing ever seems to go wrong because, well, this is all simulated. Unfortunately, there is, of course, the regular World of Outlaws series. The boys who strap themselves into these 410 wing sprint cars and drive around the racetracks in real life, going as fast as they possibly can, racing themselves and each other. Unfortunately, on Saturday at Beaver Dam Raceway, there was an incident involving one of the World of Outlaws main drivers, by the name of Jason Johnson, otherwise known as the Ragin' Cajun. Born in Louisiana, having a child and a wife, drove around the country racing cars. He raced 360s for almost a decade before going to the 410s, where he raced and he won, including winning the Knoxville Nationals in 2016 over Downey Schatz. Everyone here at RaceSpot TV and iRacing Live, I give our heartfelt, sincere prayers and thoughts to not only Johnson's family, but the entire World of Outlaws family. The World of Outlaws has put together a video, a memorial of Jason Johnson. I'd like to play that for you now, before we get to our broadcast.
This is incredible. Number 22 taking things over. Jason Johnson, he takes the checkered flag for his first World of Outlaws win.
Oh, definitely. I mean, to come here to Texas, I lived in Greenville, Texas for 3 years, driving for Lanny around. To come to Texas and win here is a dream come true.
Gets to the inside of another slower car, checkered flag waving, the Cajun sensation opens the Cleveland Brothers Summer Nationals for victory at Williams Grove Speedway. Tonight he's head of the victory lane. Jason Johnson, redemption at the Placerville Speedway. McLaren race to the win.
Welcome back to continuing coverage here on iRacing Live and Race Spot TV. It's myself, Cameron Walsh. It's, of course, Randy Chenoweth. And, of course, it's Hugo Louis. We're going to be bringing you the race here from Knoxville Raceway, the sprint car capital of the world. Fitting. As the pace truck gets ready to get ourselves to grid number 1 for heat number 1, I'd like to simply say we'll continue to be, as always, hashtag Forever41. Well, we always kind of look to what to do now. What could perhaps we want to do in the fire department whenever something happens, whenever there's a tragedy. We always come together, we hug, we pat ourselves, we pat the helmet of those that we have fallen. We honor them on the pager, across the radio to the entire county. Then we get back to doing what we do best. That's responding to calls. It's sort of unique in the racing world. What do we do best? Well, we strap ourselves in and go around the racetrack. Of course, something that not only Jason Johnson loved, but we love very much. So as the pace truck pulls itself around, with Tim Ryan running behind, I'd like to just say, as we go back, Randy, definitely not the grandest of occasions that we would have expected, but a race we are going to have indeed.
It's going to be as well, and it's the way Jason Johnson would want it to be. Wouldn't want anyone to stop doing this, would want us to keep loving this sport, and especially here at a place that was so important to him and everyone. We get ready for heat race number 1.
And it is going to be Tim Ryan, Roxbury on the outside, James Eden's Nick Cooper, Kerstetter, Adam Albee, Austin Selman, Tony DeVille, Jesse Dacus is going to be our 9th and final running car as we get ready here to go green in heat number 1. We'll get ready to rock and roll here, and well, it sort of does take the wind out of the sails, doesn't it? But we'll get these heat racing underway. During the feature, I'm sure we'll be able to have a grand old feature here. We're going to have, of course, a 30-lap feature here at the half mile. That is the Knoxville Raceway, which is, of course, a fairground speedway. Fairground Speedway is quite quick. Tim Ryan leading us into that. The Australian leading us into quarter number 1 for heat number 1.
To through 1 and 2 and down the back straight for the first time. Tim Ryan pulled away into your race lead with Britton Roxbury in that second spot. James Edens and Nick Cooper make up the top 4. It's going to be the 27 of Robert Kurtzetter that takes that 4th transfer spot away out of turn 4 and in towards 1 and 2. They go once again. Cooper and Kurtzetter swapping that transfer spot back and forth.
And that allows Adam Albee to enter the picture here. He'll slide himself up into the 5th position, and then there comes Robert Kerstetter. The track is already quick. The drivers are already fast as these guys are on maximum attack. As it is 8 laps, of course, in the heat, and Robert Kerstetter and Adam Albee are the ones that are going to have to race to get around Nick Cooper. That number 35 machine, as it is going to be Edens, Roxbury, and Ryan working your way up to the front. Ryan is currently your leader as we get halfway here. And where is Adam Albee and Robert Kerstetter going to go, Randy? Where do you think they're going to be able to make their way through?
They're going to want to try to get it down on the bottom, but right now it doesn't seem like anyone can find speed anywhere but that middle groove of the racetrack at the moment. You see one driver up to the top groove in 1 and 2. Maybe a little bit of multiple lines forming on that end of the racetrack, but 3 and 4 seems to be pretty much single file. See everyone run about a lane up through the center of those corners, but you still see Robert Kurtzetter and Adam Albee duking it out here down to the inside. Go to that 27 and 1 and 2. We got about 3 laps left in this heat race, and these guys cannot get off one another.
No, not at all. Tim Ryan is showing his early speed here at Knoxville. The track was completely clean as they went through, as it almost looked like James Edens was going to try something on Britton Roxbury as they are still fighting for 5th position. Nick Cooper been able to get about a 3.5 car length lead as Robert Kerstetter is going through. It looks like Toby DeBeal was trying to pull a position on Austin Silverman, but most of these guys are just looking to sort of get practice here as we're on lap number 8. That means Tim Ryan is going to be coming off of the final corner, and he is going to take victory in heat number 1. So, the ART machine taking it for heat number 1, and that is going to put him in a prime position at the start of the race. Then you've got Edens, then you've got, it was Roxbury, Edens, and then Cooper. So, that means that Albee, Kerstetter, Semmelman, DeMille, and Dacus will have to go their way through to the Consolation race and see if they can work their way through it. Now we get ready for heat number 2. Cars getting warmed up on the pit lane. And Randy, well, we have 9 cars here ready to go. And I will say, this Knoxville Raceway circuit seems like it's already running pretty quick.
Yeah, it's running pretty fast. It's already looking pretty raceable. 3 and 4, definitely some things are opening up there, but 1 and 2 seems to be where a couple guys are finding a couple different lines to run. So one car up against the wall, a couple cars up high up against the wall, a couple cars as well running kind of that middle lane as a couple cars roll off before the safety truck. The safety truck then gets out, and now we get ready for heat race number 2.
The pace truck obviously missed a shift. That's what happened. I was waiting for one of those push starts, but by the way, this is going to be started by Cameron Dance with Bradley Cash is outside. We got Brenner. Howard Weaver is going to be starting from the 4th position. Ryan Pace will be starting in the 5th position. And you got Justin Thomas, Weston Newell, Michael Sheridan, and Richard Murtaugh Jr. The number 33 machine is going to be running his way through. As Cameron Dance will be leading us here. He one of the many TTL drivers. We'll see what he can do here. Another Australian. So it's been an Australian one too, as far as leaders going into the heats. And as we get ready to rock and roll for heat number 2, I will say, Randy, we've already seen these guys trying to pass each other, going through 3 and 4 mostly. It's starting to get to that point though, where they will start to throw sliders at some point.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the situation of the head off towards 3 and 4 and get ready. Get heat 2 of 3 going here.
So Cameron Dance, he's leaning well on the inside. His fat right rear is on the slick. Not going to matter though. He's able to get the trigger shot, and Chris Brenner tries to follow inside to put Bradley Cash behind. Massive slider already. That'll cycle him back. So it's Cameron Dance, the leader, and they're fighting for second.
That 70 of Chris Brenner is going to fight hard for the second spot. A little bit of contact with the 28 of Bradley Cash, but it's all good, and he's going to take that second spot away as they head back off towards corners number 1 and 2. Howard Weaver in the 07 is just trying to defend from Ryan Pace that 4th and final transfer position as they head through corners number 3 and 4.
So it's Dance, Brenner, Cash, Weaver, Pace, Thomas, Newell, Sheridan, and Murtaugh Jr. at the line. As right now, Cameron Dance seems to be able to have good control. The TTL machine is working all right, but Chris Brenner, he seems to have some speed here at Knoxville Raceway that he wasn't able to get in some of the other tracks. He seems to be running that high, a very good line, Randy, as he's closing right on in, but do you want to try to somebody spins out? That is the Justin Thomas machine of number 23. He was in the number 5 position. That's going to put him out and into the Consolation race.
A little contact with that 222, Weston Newell. I think Weston tried to throw a little bit of a slider that didn't really have enough room to be able to make stick. But that said, it's going to be Justin Thomas who loses out because of that one. Weston able to hold on to that 5th spot as the 07. Howard Weaver is going to be seeing that likely in his rearview mirror. And that 07 is just trying his best to hold on to that last and final transfer spot here. As we have about 2 laps left to go.
Yeah, and Cameron Dance, the Kiwi from New Zealand, gets a shot from the right rear, or the right front tire of Chris Brenner. Brenner wants victory here. He wants the points. He throws a massive slider. Cameron Dance is now going to counter. I think these guys realize they've got a big enough of a gap. Not sure if I would risk it. But they want to try for it as Chris Brenner now pulling on the inside. Randy, these guys are fighting for valuable points here in these heat races as this is the white flag lap. Here comes Cameron Dance. These guys are skirting their way all over the racetrack. Cameron Dance on the inside. Chris Brenner, he's going to get the shotgun on the outside. He's going to get a massive run. And that means that Chris Brenner is on a last lap pass going to take victory. Heat number 2, then it goes to Cameron Dance, Bradley Cash, and then Howard Weaver getting the final transfer spot. And Randy, I think that the track is now open for business.
Things have definitely slickened up. These guys have gotten this place really kind of grooved in. You're starting to see good racing happen already. A couple of movers in that heat race moved their way up a couple of spots. Brenner from 3rd up to 1st in just 8 laps. Weston Newell picked up a couple spots as well to finish 5th. So very good, very entertaining heat there of heat 2 of 3. And now we get the 3rd one coming at you.
Yeah, so pace truck, hopefully this time is going to get out onto the track first. But yeah, it was great to see these guys giving each other racing room as we get ready for heat number 3, getting everything warmed up and primed. We will, of course, have the Consolation. That is a 15 lap, and then we will go to the feature. As, yes, the pace track does manage to make it onto the racetrack first. It's going to be Matthew McKinney, Rusty Kruger, Alex Bergeron starting in the 3rd position here at in heat number 3. Kind of surprising. Philip Diaz, AJ Nebben, David Heilman, Anthony Lepresto, Dan Smulders, and then Chase Cabre rounding out the 3 heat run today before we get to our Consolation B main, and then we'll get to our finale here at Knoxville Raceway. And Randy, we've already seen good racing. Good heat number 1, good heat number 2. The track is only going to continue to get more worn in, however, as heat number 3 gets underway.
Yeah, it's going to get slicker and slicker. Racing should get better. I'm really interested to watch that number 12, Alex Bergeron. Didn't qualify nearly where you would expect here tonight, the way he's been running. So he's going to have to run his way through the seat if he wants to start up front. And he can only start at best 3rd in the feature event based on if he wins this heat race. So I think we're going to see that number 12 make a lot of exciting moves both in this race and in the feature later on, because I think that 12 machine should be able to get through as they get ready to go green.
And of course, Alex Bergeron, our points leader with 207 championship points. Howard Weaver and Tim Ryan, of course, the 2nd and 3rd. Pace track pulls to the safety of pit lane. Matthew McKinney will let us go. Bergeron tried to do a shotgun start and see what he could jump on the inside line. That cost him massively as Philip Diaz was able to run the outside line. David Heilman was able to run the outside line. AJ Nebben, he wants a piece of that action too. So Alex Bergeron, perhaps not doing what he wanted to do early, but he does have time to make it up.
I don't think he likes that bottom groove. He's going to try to get up top and maybe might be able to hook up this end of the racetrack. Going to be 3 wide, a little bit of a hip check out in front of him, Rusty Kruger. I don't know how we didn't pile up half the field right there. That 10 car got a little bit of a shot. No, now the 12 car of Alex Bergeron. He gets involved, a little bit of bad qualifying, and he's going to finish at the back of this heat race. Driver who's been so strong the last handful of weeks is going to have to do it for the last chance qualifier.
Yeah, Alex Bergeron, I think he's going to try to get it back out on track, but it's not going to matter. Nope, he knows what's up. So that means that your championship leader might not even make the feature race. I think that would be the first time that would happen in the iRacing World Outlaws series. So right now, as it stands, it is McKinney, Heilman, Diaz, and Lepresto with a good fight going on here with about 4 laps to go. AJ Nebben is trying to chase on down Anthony Lepresto, and he has time to do it, and I think he might have the speed to do it too.
He's going to be very close here. Is AJ Nebben in that 17? That 57 car is probably going to be very, very defensive. But he's going to go down to the bottom groove of the racetrack here in 1 and 2. Going to try out that sort of offline. Not sure if he really liked it or not. I think he closed a little bit on Phil Diaz, but may have gave a little bit of speed as well to AJ Nebben through 3 and 4. This time AJ tries a bit of a lower line, gets way up in the tacky stuff up top. That's going to cost him a little bit of speed. And now Lepresto should be free to work on Phil Diaz. Very tight there as they're coming to the white flag, getting ready to go in towards 3 and 4.
Easy peasy for Matthew McKinney, the number 51 machine. David Heilman is comfortable here, but it's Philip Diaz that our eyes are upon as they take the white flag lap. Anthony Lepresto is moving in onto the inside here. He wants to get some good points, but will that allow AJ Nebben to come in? AJ Nebben trying to go on an outside pass. He wants to punch a ticket for the finale. He might get the opportunity to as he's coming off the corner. That is going to be a side-by-side finish, but it is going to go to Anthony Lepresto. Anthony Lepresto gets that very final transfer spot. So very good heats here, but surprising, very surprising. Alex Bergeron tried to put a little bit of aggression on. He wanted to see if he could get ahead. And unfortunately, Randy, it did not pay off.
And unfortunately for him, with his situation finishing as bad as he did in that heat race, Cam, he rolls off 15th for this heat race of of this last chance qualifier. So 15 cars, top 8 transfer. Alex's 15 laps to get by 7 cars, and that's to start last in the main event after this race. So Alex has a uphill battle here. I don't know if Alex has been busy or what, but it's an untraditional night for Alex to qualify mid-pack and then to struggle like that in the heat.
Yeah, and we have to remember Austin Semmelman also wasn't doing that fantastic, but I do believe at least Austin Semmelman was able to punch his ticket to the feature As looking at the Consolation grid right now as the truck rolls on off, it is the 74 machine of Adam Elby, Weston Newell, his outside, AJ Nevin, Robert Kerstetter, Michael Sheridan, Dan Smulders, Austin Silverman. Nope, so there you go. So there's your Austin Silverman machine, the number 7, or the number 18. He's going to be starting 7th. As Ryan Pace is there, and actually Austin Silverman has an issue on the pacing lap, so he'll have some issues. Then it goes Ryan Pace, Chase Cabaret, Toby DeVille, Richard Murtaugh, Rusty Kruger, Jesse Dacus, Justin Thomas. Bergeron is going to be that 15th position car. So yeah, not the work is not cut out for Alex Bergeron or Austin Silverman, as he had an unfortunate little incident there. As we get ready to go green here at the Knoxville Raceway, sprint car capital of the world. Let's see how these guys do the dance here in Knoxville Raceway, the half-mile fairground style racetrack, already putting on a grand show for the first 3 heats. Let's see if we can continue that through the Consolation and into the 30-lap feature event. 8 cars gonna punch their tickets. Who's it gonna be? As Adam Elby now has the trigger on his right foot, he gets us ready to rock and roll. There he goes. He lets us go as we are green here at Knoxville Raceway for the Consolation.
They're clean in towards 1 and 2. Will they be clean off of 2? And the fight's going to be on for that second spot. Weston Newell and AJ Neben duking it out. You also have Robert Kerstetter and Michael Sheridan in the mix. 1 car up in the wall. That might be the 18 of Austin 7. No, I'm not sure who that is actually. As another couple cars get into each other.
It was Kruger and Murtaugh going in through 3 and 4. Not sure who got into each other going into 1 and 2, but Alex Bergeron's already moved himself up to 12th as Allison Sullivan, his night is done. He is not going to make the feature race, nor is Ryan Pace. So right now your leader currently, Adam Elby. He's comfortably leading over AJ Nevin, but Nevin is going to at some point. He's searching the lines. He's searching for grip. He wants to see if he can go high-low. He might be making an attempt. Newell is currently under pressure from Kerstetter. The number 27 machine for 4th position. As 1 car rides the outside wall, that's Dan Smulders, who seems to be Randy, like the racetrack seems to be losing up. AJ Nevin loses up, and he loses a couple of positions, but everyone seems to be climbing up that racetrack, and then they start hitting that berm. That really unsettles the cars.
1 and 2, they're pretty much up against the wall. They're not quite as high in corners number 3 and 4. The fight for your transfer spot is hot, though. The 75 of Jesse Dawkins currently holds that transfer position. The 7 of Toby DeBell is right on his rear nerf bar. They roll through 3 and 4, and Alex Bergeron is there and lurking as well. They come across the start lap number 6 of 15. The 12 car is going to try the bottom here, looking for speed, going to try to slide up, but no speed coming off the corner. So Alex really only seems like there's one good groove to make passes on right now. It's out in front of him. Now that 7 car is trying to get ahead of Jesse Dawkins, and he's going to pick up that 8 spot. That's going to put him in the transfer position. This might open the door for Alex as these guys get racy.
Yeah, and so Chase Cabaret, he's working that outside line over Dan Smulders. Smulders was trying to go inside, not working out here as Alex Bergeron seems stuck halfway through the feature. He's got a sling. He's not going to be able to pick up 2 positions. He hits Jesse Dacus. Jesse Dacus goes upside down and straightens himself out, and I believe Jesse Dacus, his day might be done as he puts it around, and he will see if he can get himself sorted out. No, he will not. So Jesse Dacus is not going to be involved in tonight's action as Toby DeVille also striking the outside wall. As Alex Bergeron, well, he's aggressive, and Randy, he's only got 1 more position to go, but I don't think I like that decision.
No, I don't think it was very clean at all. That move is, I don't think there's any way he's going to pick up 2 cars in that single corner, but a little bit of contact in front of him. The 211 of Dan Smulders gets into it a little bit, so Alex is going to hold on to that 8th spot now, and probably is going to dial back that aggression after some problems out in front of him. So for Alex, now that he's guaranteed himself in the show, no real point, and I don't see him really risking it. Pretty much everyone right now, Elby, Newell, Kerstetter, Sheridan, Neben, Cabaret, Smulders, and Bergeron, those 8 probably going to play pretty nice with each other for these last handful of laps, as they're all guaranteed transfer spots if they do.
Yeah, and Adam Elby, he was under pressure from AJ Nevin earlier, but Nevin had an issue where he was coming off one of the corners and his car went a little wild. He was able to get it under control, but he lost position, so Adam Elby is completely all on his own. Got the Newell Kerstetter battle, so I think right now it's Chase Cabaret, and of course we got to remember points are on the board here as Chase Cabaret was trying to get through, as AJ Nevin He's working, this is kind of the battle group right here. Dan Smolders wants to see if he can get a little further ahead as we've got 2 laps to go.
So there's a couple laps left as Adam Elby has skirted away from the field very nicely. 12 car of Alex Bergeron has just checked into this back little train for the last handful of transfer spots. Will any of these guys try to pick up an extra starting spot or 2 for the feature? I don't think so as they head off towards 1 and 2. Alex is going to try the bottom, slides up to the middle on the 211 of Dan Smolders, but nothing's going to do the 74 with Adam Elby. He's clean coming off of turn 4.
And Alex Bergeron's going low, but he's covering himself here. White flag is in the air as AJ Nevin goes to the inside of Michael Sheridan, but it's going to be Adam Elby. He's going to pull across the start-finish line coming off of the corner. So everyone's pulling through here as we get ready here with the Consolation to look through the finales here. It was Adam Elby, Weston Newell, Robert Kerstetter, Michael Sheridan, AJ Nevin, Chase Cabre, Dan Smolders, Alex Bergeron, Justin Thomas, Toby DeBeal, Rusty Kruger, Jesse Dacus, Richard Montag, and Austin Semmelman. So that means some pretty big names are not going to be making the grid. We're going to take a look at that, but first, we're going to take an ad here on iRacing Live and Race Spot TV.
Did you know your DirtVision.com account gives you free access to our on-demand video library? From the DirtVision.com homepage, click on On-Demand Video near the top right of the screen. And from there, countless hours of World of Outlaws footage awaits at your fingertips. Watch every lap of the current World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series season.
Sheldon Hodge looking for a run. Dives low into turn 3. Slide job! Sheldon Hodge shield to the cushion. Johnson turns it back underneath him, but Sheldon leads lap 23.
Or dive into some of the historical options with videos in our Classics section.
He has clear visibility, comes off the 4th turn in the clear, and leads lap number 1.
It's all available free and on demand on DirtVision.com.
Feature race here on a Monday night at Knoxville Raceway. It's going to be led by Tim Ryan, car right there, the number 98 machine. Chris Brenner is going to be his outside. The cars are warming themselves up. Myself, Cam Walsh, Randy Chennault, Hugo Louis, of course. Hashtag Forever41 tonight. Our thoughts are with Jason Johnson and the entirety of the World of Outlaws family as they deal with the very unfortunate passing of one of the best, the Ragin' Cajun. As, well, Randy, we've already seen the 3 heats, the Consolation race. Couple of dramas throughout that one. Alex Bergeron punched his ticket, though under some circumstances. And we get ready to go green here at Knoxville Raceway. I will say the track has really slicked off. Everyone has to run that outside wall. That's really difficult for a couple of people.
Yeah, it really is. We've seen people struggle with that a couple times this season when the track gets really slippery, being able to maintain traction up top. That bottom groove, it's slick down low as well, near kind of the edge of the berm. And I think we're going to have some people probably trying to go low down there during this race. Saw the 12 car of Alex Bergeron do that during the last chance qualifier. It'd be interesting to see what he can do coming from 20th on the grid. What was his streak that he's currently on? But 30 laps up on the board. Hopefully we can stay green for most of it.
30 laps, 19 cars set out in front of Alex Bergeron, who's starting in 20th position. Howard Weaver, he's your second runner in the championship point standings, going to be starting from 11th. Austin Semmelman not even making the feature. So as the pace truck gets ready, they're going green soon here at Knoxville Raceway for the feature event. It's going to be 20 of the Candace drivers here in the Sprint Car Championship Series, the World of Outlaws iRacing World Championship to settle. Whom is going to pick up the prize check tonight? Will it be Tim Ryan, the Australian? Will it be Chris Brenner? Will it be perhaps the New Zealand driver, Cameron Dance? Well, James Edens maybe might be looking at it. Let's find out as we get ready for 30 laps of racing around the Sprint Car capital of the world. Pace truck be getting ready to be pulling in this next time by to get us ready. We We've already seen the 3 heats. We've seen the Consolation. Get ready for the feature. Strap it in one more time. We will do what we do best here on iRacing Live and Race Spot TV. We're gonna race. Entirely, frankly, not much else I'm sure we could ever think to do. So, the pace truck, get ready to pull in. The flags, get ready to be put in the air. Tim Ryan, the Australian, has got his right foot tentatively over that throttle. When will he go? How far into this half-mile circuit between 3 and 4 will he go? He doesn't waste much time. We are off and running for the feature event here at Knoxville Raceway.
So through 1 and 2 for the first time. Tim Ryan with a huge lead. The fight for second is on though. Chris Brenner and Matthew McKinney. A little bit of contact between the two of them. And Matt McKinney is going to slide in that second spot. They're 3 wide. For third, I think it's Roxbury Dan as well as Heileman all involved with that fight. You also have the 5 machine. Still trying to get in there. A little bit of contact with the 42 up top between Heileman and Roxbury, the 421, excuse me. These guys are getting really aggressive. And the 98 loves what he sees as he's spreading away early.
Yeah, we had another couple of runs of 3 wide in the middle of the pack there. It was 3 wide, 2 wide, 3 wide, 2 wide. As somebody's in the wall. The yellow flag is up as somebody has taken a roll around. Matthew McKinney was the unfortunate one there, and he did that all on his own. Yeah, and that's what we were talking about, where he just got stuck in that stuff. You start running as high to the high side as you can. Matthew McKinney's day is going to be done.
Yeah, and that's really, really unfortunate to do something like that, to have a mistake like that in a big race here, running second place at Knoxville, just to do it all by yourself like that. I don't know if there's a more embarrassing way to go out of one of these races.
Well, I can tell you, I don't know about the World Championship Series, but I can tell you from personal experience, it's really embarrassing when you're starting in second position and you put yourself on the outside wall at the start of Williams Grove. I think I did that 3 races in a row.
You do that in the 305s.
Well, it's not in the 305s, but I get all stressed out, and then I put the car in the wall because I get all stressed out. But I will say, normally that's in the opening lap. This was, 4 laps in, which we did seem to have good racing, Randy. These guys were giving each other a respectable racing room. Hopefully we can see that continue.
Yeah, there was some adequate room being given. People were getting aggressive, though, in the mid-pack. So out in front, things are relatively clean. And, yeah, you are right. It is just sort of going to be interesting to see how these guys pick up the aggression and what the decision-making process is going to be, especially once these lights go out and we go back to green.
I think I can say there's a pretty big thing to race for here tonight. I want to put on a good show. Lights are out on the pace truck, unmarked as always, with our lovely pace truck driver guy as he's ready to pull it into pit lane one more time. Hopefully the final time today, as we are going to be taking the green on lap 6, starting lap 7 of this 30-lap feature. Tim Ryan was able to get a pretty good run over Chris Brenner. Will he do it now? But he also has Cameron Dance, the Kiwi, the New Zealand driver, right behind. So will the Australian New Zealand Club members able to take their way through? As it's ERT versus TTL as Chris Brenner pops the wheels. That stacks everybody up going into 1.
It's moving towards 1 and 2. Little bit of stack up for second on back. The 98 pretty much clear. Been dominating the way he has been all night. The 5 machine of David Heileman is still fighting with that 421 car of Brayton Roxbury. One thing to watch, that Alex Bergeron had some issues on that previous start. We got cars around on the front straightaway. I think Alex has picked up a couple spots late. But Sheridan, big issues on the front straightaway, but we stay green.
Yeah, and he basically, from what I can see, lost it all on his own. He started getting up. Oh, no, what had happened was that Adam Elby had gotten stacked up behind Robert Kerstetter, sent across the track, and it was some massive effort from Michael Sheridan to keep his car straight and on the narrows. So Michael Sheridan getting bumped back to 19th position as it's Tim Ryan, your leader with Chris Brenner. Then you've got maybe 10, 15 car lengths between him and David Heileman in third, and then you get to the rough and tumble the rest of the field. From 4th on back, Randy, it is basically just a blob of sprint cars.
Yeah, it really is. The first couple cars are really kind of spread out, but after that, it's just pretty much car as these guys work off towards 1 and 2. The 07 of Howard Weaver currently having his worst run of the season in 8th. That shows you the kind of season he's been having. Currently chasing down the number 9 machine of Phil Diaz, who I think might be on one of the best runs that he's had all season. 07 going to try to slot it up top. It gets a little bit loose, and he's going to drop the spot. I think that's Anthony Lepresto, who's going to try to sling it up around the top side. Lepresto's going to get the momentum down the back straight, but he's going to take away that spot, move Lepresto up to 8th.
Yeah, so that over-under not working out so well as Britton Roxbury and Philip Diaz are running side by side as David Heilman, the number 5 machine, he basically stuck a rut, and that dropped him from 3rd position down back into 4th position, allowing Cameron Dance to get up into 3rd. You can see a couple of these cars, especially Heilman, his front wheels are popping up over that pit lane berm, if you want to call it that, off of the racing line through the inside of 3 and 4 as somebody's in the outside wall. It's Dan Smulders. That's going to throw the yellow flag out, the number 211 machine. And he did that all on his own as they try to throw the car into 1 and 2, Randy. Sometimes the rear tire does not bite, and he got cleaned up by Chase Cabre.
I think he just turned in a little bit too late, but yeah, it's the second time we've seen that now in the same corner. Guys get in and really just kind of try to sling it to the right, and you're right, he got a big contact that sent him pretty much up and over, but we're going to get another field reset, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think if Chris Brenner can get a good restart, he's going to have something for Tim Ryan, because he was not letting Tim get away. He was keeping that gap on us at about 2 to 3 tenths of a second, was trading laps back and forth with that number 98 car. So if that 70 machine can get the jump he needs, it might be like what we saw at Limaland when Alex pulled the win over Nick Cooper in the late models. He's probably going to have to time it just right. Maybe you get a little bit aggressive with it and jump a little early in order to get it. But if he can get the run up top and towards 1 and 2, I think that 70 car has the speed to get around Tim Ryan. And I don't know if Tim has the pace to get back by.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. It'll be interesting to see. Chris Brenner hasn't been up front all season. He's been doing all right. But as far as the championship standings go, he's back in 15th position. So you want to talk about a potential points haul. Taking a victory. I mean, that will obviously catapult him right on up as the pace track lights will get off one more time. We're past the halfway mark here at Knoxville Raceway. As we get ready to go green, they're going to tighten up. Now, where will Tim decide to park that fat right rear tire of his 410 wing sprint car? Will he try to keep it out of the slick? Put it in the inside dirt? We'll see if he can run Chase Cabre up a little high as Tim Ryan is going to get us ready to go green. Hopefully, the final time today, the pace truck will pull to the inside of pit lane. Tim Ryan parking the car right in the middle. He gets a great hole shot past the starter stand. We go lap 18 of 30.
Not what that number 70 car would have wanted out of himself whatsoever. The 5 machine of David Heileman, though, he's going to hold up top and take that 3rd spot away from Cam Dance. Cam's going to try it down next to the berm, though. That TTL car seems to have good speed down there, but the advantage up top off corner number 4 will go to that 5 machine. They're getting coming towards 10 laps to go. Going to start lap number 20 next time by.
And there's a caution for Weston Newell as the 222 machine is parked upside on its spin. As it looks to me, there was a incident with Robert Kerstetter coming off of corner number 4. Robert Kerstetter comes off of corner number 4 just ahead of Adam Elvey. Those two have a bit of a love connection, and unfortunately the 222 backs up in that wall and he gets sent around and on his side. So unfortunately that's going to bring out the yellow flag one more time. We should have basically it looks like we're going to have a heat to determine who's going to take home the money.
I think it's going to be about a 9-lap run to get to the end here. First real car-to-car contact. That's brought out a caution as one car is coming on down towards the pit road. Not sure who that is, but it's pretty deep in the field. But it's going to be interesting to see. So Robert Kerstetter comes down on towards pit road, and he's going to drop to the back, and that might be the end of his night. It'll be interesting to see if he can get any repairs at all before he gets himself back off and running.
I think all they can really do is they just hit it with a hammer a couple of times and see if that doesn't help. But that suspension's crap. That day is going to be done, I'm afraid. He might try to pull it out, but I think he's going to learn very quickly that the suspension is in fact not to spec. But you never know. he could be able to get the thing wheeled around. Meanwhile, it's going to be Tim Ryan versus Chris Brenner. And I will say, for David Heilman, he is now stuck on that inside line. He doesn't seem happy about that. Cameron Dance might be the big profiteer off of this one, starting outside row number 2.
That's what we've seen from these guys on these restarts in third and fourth, Cam. It's sort of, we get a restart, they trade spots, and then that driver starting in fourth, he gets another restart, winds it up top, then takes that third spot back. So I think that's definitely going to be Cam Dance who is in the best position.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we set ourselves up for the finale here at Knoxville Raceway. Pace truck getting ready to pull in. He already has. Everyone's trying to go around Tim Ryan. Well, you kind of shot the shard, everybody. There we go. The yellow flag instantaneously coming out. Multiple cars going upside down, as not quite sure if everyone was trying to jump the start or what, but Alex Bergeron's day is going to be done. Your championship leader, Philip Diaz's day is going to be done. And Randy, they've got some sprint cars to clean up going down to the start-finish line.
Yeah, they do. People just trying to jump the start. 5 Machine and David Heileman did it. Pretty much the whole grid did it. Tim didn't slow down at all. 41, 42 miles an hour the whole way through. You see that easily on the replay. The speed was constant. So we always see this. Whenever someone tries to kind of delay the restart and do it late, there's always a pile up. So I think some guys, I know people get aggressive and they want to pick up spots early, but patience is a virtue that you pretty much need at times in sprint car racing as well. But we go back under caution after an unfortunate little, silly little incident.
Oof. As that takes away some laps from us, which is not what we want to see. But I will say, I do know that there's kind of the last couple of weeks they've been very adamant about where to restart. I don't think Tim Ryan was out of that box. So yeah, everyone was just comfortable, and you know what? That caught a lot of people out, and that unsettled the mid-pack of the field. So we re-rack them, restack them, we hopefully green flag run to the checkered flag. Will Tim Ryan be able to capture that flag? Well, we'll have to find out, Randy, and I think like he's good. He should have a pretty decent shot of it.
Yeah, he looks really good. And talk to you about points all, Cam. Alex Bergeron got caught up in that incident, and his day is done. So he's going to be having a 17th place finish tonight by the looks of things. So for that 98 car, if he can pull a win tonight, as long as he can get, I think, a top 2, top 3, he's going to be very happy with the points he's going to reel in over that number 12.
You are watching the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car World Championship Series here on iRacing, round number 4 here at Knoxville. Lights are out on the pace truck. For fingers crossed, last time, Tim Ryan, there we go. We get the start. Tim Ryan, massive jump as Chris Brenner is already under attack from David Heilman. They throw him into one.
Heilman, who thought maybe he wouldn't like the bottom groove, but he seemed to like it as he was fighting for that second spot. Going to be able to slide up into the third. The 6 and the 52 machine come pretty close. That's James Eden and Cam Dance duking it out for a couple spots as they head down the front straightaway and back towards 1 and 2 with the last few laps of this race getting logged in the books. The 70 of Chris Brenner is tight to that 98 of Tim Ryan. Can he get close enough to make a move? He's going to try something in the middle at 3 and 4.
But he smartly backed out of that one. He knew that wasn't going to fly. Is that inside line coming into play? I think if we didn't have these cautions, the inside line would be a little bit more viable. But unfortunately, with all those caution laps around the track, has not been worn in enough. As Tim Ryan seems comfortable there on the outside line, and Chris Brenner is trying everything he can. They will pick up the white flag lap here at Knoxville Raceway Sprint Car Camp of the World half mile. As the number 98 has a 2-car gap over Chris Brenner. Chris Brenner has maybe a 10-car gap over third position David Heilman. And here comes Chris Brenner. He's not going to have a chance at all. Tim Ryan has been able to put on a staunch defense. He will take the victory. He gets the cash. Chris Brenner coming home in second. David Heilman coming home in third. Then it goes to Dancy and Lepresto Weaver. And then cash. Well, Randy, I really wish, obviously, we finished those last 10, 15 laps under green because Chris Brenner did not have enough time to get comfortable. That inside line didn't have time to work in.
He definitely was equal on pace for sure to Tim Ryan, if not a little bit quicker. And I think you're right. I think if we got in the last 10, 15 laps under green, I think we may have seen Chris be able to get himself a slightly better opportunity. He really didn't ever have, those last few laps. 70 car never really had a good chance to make a pass there for the lead. That 98 car of Tim Ryan is pretty happy about that. He's burning him down on every end of the racetrack.
Absolutely. So 13 minutes and 6.2 seconds on the docket for the 30-lap feature race at Knoxville Raceway. Tim Ryan, the number 98 machine, he will take victory. Chris Brenner having a fantastic finish. You want to talk about a points day. Tim Ryan surely is going to get a massive bump over Alex Bergeron, but Chris Brenner, he was 15th in the points. He was now going to jump his way up. David Heilman comes home in third. Cameron Dance, the New Zealand driver, comes home in the fourth position. Then you got James Eames, Anthony Lopresto. Howard Weaver finishes a lonely number 7th, but you know what? He started in 11th. So good day for him for all things considered. Bradley Cash, AJ Nebben, Michael Sheridan, Britton Roxbury, Nick Cooper, Robert Kerstetter, Weston Newell, Dan Smulders, Adam Elby then is your first retiree. Then you got Philip Diaz, Alex Bergeron, Chase Cabre, and Matthew McKinney rounding out your 20-car field. We are going to take a quick 1-minute break here on iRacing Live Race Spot TV. But stick around. We have, of course, driver interviews as we go to the iRacing Race Spot TV post-race show here on iRacing Live, Dirt Vision, and the Race Spot TV. So stick around. We'll be right back.
What part did courage play in this victory?
Kinzer going into the corner, trying to get by Dale Waxo, makes contact.
Hell of a lot, I'll tell you that right there.
So many times, everybody had lost track. Look at how it shot up on the center track.
Tell you what, that was some close races at a high speed.
The World of Outlaws create memories for fans every night. Now share your favorite Outlaw moment on social media. Whether it was 1978, 1998, or 2018, we want to know, what's your Outlaw moment? Did you sneak into a victory lane picture? Get whiplash driving past a parking lot full of crews at work? Or maybe you simply got to meet your favorite driver in the pits after the races. Tweet it, Instagram it, just use the hashtag #MyOutlawMoment. You might even hear Voice of the Outlaws Johnny Gibson share your memory at the track. Don't delay, start posting today. Let us know with My Outlaw Moment.
Laps have been ran, and a winner has been found. It is Tim Ryan. 13 minutes and 6 seconds. He will take victory here at Knoxville Raceway, the sprint car capital of the world. As always, hashtag Forever41. Of course, Jason Johnson unfortunately losing his life last Saturday. And, well, we have Tim Ryan here. Tim, obviously not the grandest of situations, most certainly, and I think we can all say our thoughts mostly go with the family of the Ragin' Cajun Jason Johnson, but you know what? You took victory here at Knoxville Raceway, and you did it in a pretty decent, convincing fashion, too. There was basically only one car that had the speed that you did, and that was Chris Brenner.
Yeah, as you said, really special race to win after what happened to Jason Johnson. I was lucky enough to see him when he come to Australia. So to see a class act like that come out and race, it was a really good eye-opener, and yeah, massive respect.
And, some of these drivers do it. A lot of people don't realize, but what we would consider American dirt racing is extraordinarily popular in Australia as well. I know we have, in the Super Dirt Car Series up here in the Northeast, we get an Australian driver that everyone loves, and that goes back and forth, so most certainly, and talking about the racetrack at the beginning heats, the track was completely clean. It was pretty easy to get yourselves around, up and down the racetrack. Passing was fairly straightforward. But by the time we got to the end of this race, and of course we had a couple of yellows that most certainly didn't allow the track to fully go in, but the track was a very, very different beast towards the end of this race.
Yeah, as you said, when I went out in Heat 1, the track was really fresh, and then didn't come out towards until the feature, so yeah, it really slickened off, and early on in the feature, that slide job line through 1, 2, and 3, 4 was the quickest, but yeah, through about halfway distance, that went away, so it was really hard, then managed your wheel spin through the slick, and then yeah, just managed to get it done, but yeah, Chris was really quick behind. Yeah,
and of course, taking victory there for the ERT boys. It's one thing we did notice that people were really trying to chuck it going into corner number 1. How do you prevent yourself from being a little too aggressive there? Because there's kind of a rut right where you would normally turn in. And a couple of cars kind of lost themselves up, and they climbed up the wall and ended their day. It just when you're the leading car, it's not like you can see the other cars moving around. Is that just more of a feeling thing, or are you just trying to keep the car safe?
Yeah, I was just trying to keep the car fast and straight, but yeah, as I was saying to Chris Benner, like we had the virtual mirror, but I couldn't actually see where he was running because I was so busy on the racetrack trying to just keep the car underneath me.
Well, there you go. Either way, give you the floor. Anyone you'll, of course, like to thank, and the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone at Evolution Racing Team, sponsors, Logitech G, Motum Simulations, and GTI. And yeah, just thanks to everyone for putting it together, and yeah, rest in peace, Jason Johnson.
Strong words indeed, of course. Hashtag Forever41. That's Tim Ryan. Randy, you are going to be standing alongside the number 70 machine of Chris Brenner.
Yeah, I got that number 70 car, and Chris, I think you got the short end of the stick tonight. You think if you would have had a little bit more time with some green flag running at the end, you could have put a move on Tim?
Yeah, I think I definitely could have. The yellows just fell at the most inopportune times. I'd get close to him after he, he'd get a good start every restart, and I'd have to reel him back in, and I'd close that gap up, and sure enough, the yellow would come out again, and it ruined any of real opportunity to make something happen there.
People were pretty excited about this track coming up. A lot of people were amping up how well the kind of different grooves ran. It seemed, though, like for the most part, everyone pretty much found the top, the place they wanted to be. What did you have to do to try to run the bottom tonight? Because you were one of those who got down late in this race, ran down to the bottom, I think mostly trying to put a move on Tim, but you seemed quicker down there as well.
Yeah, I was the first quarter of that race or so, I was focused on trying to get second back from, I think that was McKinney who got by me. I wasn't really paying attention to Tim, but once McKinney got into the wall there, I started watching Tim, and he was running that slider line through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that was definitely the fast way around the track. I think we checked out by a couple seconds there. But I just ran out of time, man. I can't be upset about a second place in this series, though. This might be my only shot at a podium.
Back to Eldora in 2 weeks. Think you're going to have a good run?
Yeah, I think so. We have a good setup for that track as well. It's going to come down to qualifying, just as always. Need a good qualifying spot to get things rolling.
Thanks for joining us, Chris. Who gets it done for that number 70?
Thanks a lot, guys. Race Spot TV, you guys do a phenomenal job. Teammates UW Motorsports can't thank them for all the work we put into the cars and setups. Sponsors UW. I'm screwing this up. I'm still shaking. Wicked Cushion, Next Gen Fabrication, Colby's Eye Paints, and Ultimate Dirt TV. Thanks for all the support, guys.
There he is, second place runner tonight, Chris Brenner. Think you would have liked to take that top spot away, but the number 5 machine of David Heileman, I think he'll be good with this, or he'll be happy with his third place run this evening.
Yeah, most certainly, and I will say I think we all wish we had a couple more laps for that one. We would like to see how that developed, but kind of a, I hate to say best of the rest sort of thing, but we do have David Heileman, the number 5 machine. David, he had a couple of really, really scary moments there. It's not often you're the top finishing VLR driver, but you know what? Hey, the opportunity came today, coming home in 3rd position after a good, hard race over, Cameron Dance was all over you pretty much all race long. You guys were trading positions, and he ended up coming home in 3rd after the 30-lap feature.
Yeah, racing with Cam was really good. Good hard racing. I know one time I kind of got him into a bit, but we just kept racing hard after that. It was tough holding him off just for 3rd.
Yeah, and a couple of times you ended up either coming off I think it was coming off a 4. You've kind of tapped the outside wall there, and kind of had to push yourself and get out of the throttle. And you were able to kind of climb your way back. Running that high line at Knoxville, really, it was all right, obviously, at the start, but once the track slickened off, just talk to me about how difficult the track kind of got trying to run that high line.
Yeah, after the first 3 heat races, it wasn't very slick in the middle at all, and that's the key to getting better racing here is to have the middle slick off, so I was really worried, but after that B main, they seemed to kind of go to that third lane a little bit, and then the cushion started coming in, and Chris and Tim were kind of running that slider, and I tried to push the boundaries of the cushion one time in 1 and 2, but ended up almost fencing it. So there was one restart where I got a really good run, and I thought I could stay with those guys. Then the caution came out really quick. And then the next one, I kind of tried to time that and probably screwed. Someone crashed in the back probably because of all that. So I apologize again. But yeah, when the top came in like that, is really I've flipped in a modified running the cushion on this track, so it's always scary.
Yeah, scary indeed, but you know what? That's what makes it good racing here at Knoxville Raceway, because you can certainly get that high speeds. Wish we had a couple more laps, I'd have to say, unfortunately with those cautions, but you know what, David Heilman, I'll give you the floor. It's yours here, as you've finished third in the Knoxville Raceway run here, and I'll take it away.
Let's thank our guys at VLR and Howard Weaver. Tyler Hudson wasn't here to give us a pep talk, so Howard gave a good one in the TeamSpeak channel. Thanks Joel Berkeley, Down Under Graphics, Tyler Burrow, and TAC 3 Defense, and thank you guys for putting this on every week.
And of course, our pleasure. So that's David Heilman. So that is your 1, 2, 3 finishers. And Randy, we'll go to you. Is there anything? I mean, obviously we wish we had more green flag laps, but I think we wish we had them more towards the end. But you know what? Overall, though, good racing.
Yeah, good racing, physical racing. The track was definitely raceable. People were able to make passes, especially in the mid-pack. Think we would have seen some changes up in front, but no one, unfortunately, ever really got the chance to get close enough to try anything. I think we're going to be in for a good show when 2 weeks' time, at Eldora.
Going to Eldora in 2 weeks' time, another home of what you would consider the sprint cars. So either way, that's going to be it for us. Mine been Cameron Walsh. That's Randy Chenoweth. Hugo Louis on the cameras. And Warren Design, app engineer. And of course, Nick Thyssen helping us put everything all together. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is the show from Knoxville Raceway. Thank you for making it a grand old day here, of course. Wish it were under better circumstances, and our thoughts and prayers are, as always, with the families that have been affected with the passing of Jason Johnson. We wish you all the very best, and we wish him Godspeed wherever he may be.